Alrighty, hey, what is up, everyone? Happy New Year's Eve, and it's gonna be the start of hopefully me getting my stuff back together in regards to getting on some sort of a decent schedule here. With that being said, I'm not making any promises because every time I do something like this, where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start being active again, I end up not really doing so. I have moved. I'm in my own place. It's been that long since I did a video. But I believe this will allow me to do videos more regularly. So, with that being said, we have a new anime season starting. I think it already has. I think we've got like a show or two that are already kind of out already. But I wanted to go through and run down the list of shows that I'm going to be following for winter 2025. Now, I was going to do a real quick kind of review for like my anime of the year, openings and endings of the year and stuff like that, but I decided that's an awful lot to deal with right now, especially because I have not done any prep. It would have been kind of the entire year in one kind of video. It didn't seem like it made a lot of sense to me. I felt like if I'm going to go into like this content creation kind of sphere and actually like take it seriously for a change, it's something I could kind of do on a seasonal basis, and then it makes it a lot easier at the end of the year for me to determine what I kind of consider to be the of the years for all these kind of different categories that I have in my head and I would like to kind of push out there. So that's the plan. We're going to hit the trail a little bit hard here. I've been working on backlog, and I have picked out a healthy portion of the winter 2025 season that I personally want to give a watch this season. So with that being said, we are going to run through and just kind of briefly talk about the stuff that I have marked as a point of interest for myself. There we go. We are now on the correct scene. You guys can see my web browser, and I have animeschedule.net pulled up here, and the entire list of shows that we have coming in the winter 2025, with the exception of Fate Strange Fake, which I can't figure out why it's not showing up. I know that the first episode of that dropped on Crunchyroll today. I'm going to watch that after I'm done recording, along with just a night of honestly kicking my feet up and just ringing the new year in with a absolute metric ton of anime. So that's where we're at. That's what the plans are for the start of 2025. And let's go ahead and jump right into this. I think this is sorted by popularity right now. I'm going to do it by release date just to kind of talk about things here. Oh, and now it is showing Fate Strange Fake here. It was not beforehand. And I think the other problem is it was not showing it in the lineup of shows from like the calendar standpoint. We'll come back to that page later and advance a couple weeks forward, so you kind of like a layout of what to kind of like expect on a weekly basis. In regards to that, I'm not sure what exactly I plan to do in terms of keeping up with my weekly stuff. I don't know if I want to pick a handful of shows that I want to talk about on a more regular basis, or if I want to stick to something like just like short reactionary videos to certain stuff that I find cool throughout my days of watching and stuff like that. Like I said, no promises on anything. This is all just. I feel like when I start to make too heavy invested plans, that's when I start to end up giving myself trouble. So, okay, so let's jump right into it. I have watched the first episode of the first one. This S rank Behemoth is the elf's pet, and I'm already very heavily considering dropping it. The production quality is not great, and the overall general kind of theme of it gives me a very like messed up bestiality type vibe. I don't know. We'll see. It might be something I watch and keep up with. I probably will not talk about it much regardless, because it honestly doesn't seem to have a whole lot there that's interesting, at least to me. So that's why it's not popping up. I marked a Fate Strange Fake in the directory to be watched, and it did not do it. So I just did mark it now, and now it should be popping up. But Fate Strange Fake, I'm a solid Fate fan. I have not seen all of the kind of side stories, but I have seen a decent chunk of them. It's something I do want to get around to. I need to see, like, the Prisma, Ilya Prisma, stuff like that. I know there's some more Grand Order type stuff out there. The Grand Order stuff might be, like, in the way of mobile games, though. So, I've watched a lot of what is, like, easily accessible. And this is no exception. I'll be jumping into it and hopefully thoroughly enjoying it. It doesn't sound like you need a whole lot of anything specific to get into it, so yeah, just another branch of Fate for me to get into and enjoy. Not really a ton else to say about it, so just pulling up my anime list posting for it, because I was kind of curious. Doesn't seem to have an opening or ending listed at all, so like I said, not a ton to talk about there, just kind of the general overarching consensus for that. Okay, so then we have a few other ones. I know this one started today. Probably not watching that one immediately. So these are the ones you can get waited on. Okay, so this Tasakara Hotel anime seems pretty interesting to me for more than one reason. And interesting enough, I did watch a quick trailer of it. Didn't go super deep into it, but I watched a quick trailer of it. Seemed interesting, and I think one of the things that really honestly got me, like, sold on it outside of just kind of the overall theming, the opening that played in it sounded super fucking awesome. So yes, considering the opening sounds awesome, the trailer seemed entertaining, and it seemed like a kind of a fresh-ish type of idea, it's definitely something I'm going to check out during the season. Okay, next up, we have I'm Getting Married to a Girl I Hate in My Class. I kind of am at a point, and this is going to sound silly because honestly Blue Box is kind of already enough kick-ass, like, romance genre stuff, and that carries over through this season, so I'm going to have my fill, but I always like to have a little bit of rom-com mixed in. I find that it is a nice change of pace from some of this stuff, some of the more Sakuga and really heavy, like, shonen type action stuff, which we have plenty of that I'm watching this season. But this is something I have picked as one to maybe counter that kind of stuff a little bit. Did not watch the trailer for this one, but the thumbnail looked interesting. The title seemed interesting. So going in on that one kind of blind. Should be pretty solid, I would think. Not watching Blue Exo because I have not watched any Blue Exo, so I need to get on that. If I had got caught up on Blue Exo, this would probably be in the list. But for now, it'll end up just getting tacked on to the back end of the binge whenever I get around to Blue Exo. Of course, we're going to be watching Solo Leveling. Supposed to do this in a group watch with my friends, but they are so inconsistent with times and days that I will probably end up watching it and then watching it a second time with them whenever they get around to it. Shush, don't tell them. They don't need to know. it's sometimes a necessity, especially if I'm going to be covering videos and stuff like that for some of this stuff. So that is that for that one. My Happy Marriage, I think is what this one's called. Yes, My Happy Marriage. I did not watch the first season of this either, but I've heard it's awesome. It's probably also one that I could binge out in time for the second season. I'm not going to, because like I said, I've already got a handful of shows picked out, and I think I'm happy with the lineup I've got. So we'll kind of come back around to My Happy Marriage probably once the second season wraps up and do like a full-on binge of it. This one, I did not watch a trailer on either, and I believe this was probably like some sort of romance. It says Drama School Slice of Life. Flower and Asura. The thumbnail looked really nice, if I'm being honest. Studio Bind, not the most impressive studio, but the cast looks cool from the thumbnail. Like I said, a lot of the times when I'm going into new seasonal stuff, I try to avoid the trailers. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes I do catch trailers here and there. But in certain cases, I'll just look at the thumbnail and be like, okay, you know what? Let's chuck that one on the list. We'll give that a try. So that's kind of one that's happening here. Again, kind of the same thing with the description and excerpts. I kind of just go with my gut for some of this. So there's that. Ishura, second season. I did watch the first season of Ishura. Didn't love it, didn't hate it, but I thought it was entertaining and interesting enough that I am looking forward to checking out the second season of it. So it's here. It's hopefully going to be good, but I guess we'll see. Like I said, I still don't know how to feel about this series in specific. It's definitely kind of a weird one. Skipping over, we have Honey Lemon Soda. This is one that I have considered adding here as the last second. It's kind of funny. It's JC Staff, but I feel like JC Staff sometimes does a good job with animes like this kind of genre and this kind of world. It is shoujo, so it's kind of going to be more girly, which it's not really an issue for me because I think, like for instance, yes, shoujo, A Sign of Affection was also that. I can find entertainment in those with relative ease, so I'm considering throwing this one on the list, but we'll kind of see. It's also going to, I think, kind of come down to how I'm feeling a little bit into this season. If I start to, like, if I'm falling behind a ton and I'm struggling to keep up with stuff, I may end up in a situation where I cut some fat and end up with less down the stretch. I haven't decided yet. Dr. Stone, for me, a must-watch. Oh, I didn't realize this was the final season of Dr. Stone. Is it split into 2 cores? No. Okay, so this is just it. This is just the last season. I did not realize this was the final season of Dr. Stone. Regardless, for me, like I said, absolutely a must-watch. I've been in love with the series since it started, and I would feel terrible if I wasn't going to watch it. So it's on the list, and I am watching it. This is another one that I think I did watch the trailer for this one, and I think I legitimately am watching it because of the sheer amount of elf girls in this anime. I think there were probably some other things in terms of like the animation quality. I think that maybe the opening or something caught my ear as well. Bad joke, bad elf joke, unintentional elf joke. Regardless, this is one that I'm going to check out, kind of going in a little bit blind. Like I said, I did watch the trailer, but the main thing I took away from it, considering I don't think it had subtitles, English subtitles, was just that, like, every girl in the show seems to be an elf. So, I'm kind of here for it. Skipping all of this for the time being, Apothecary Diaries Season 2, absolutely, like, top-notch, one of my most anticipated series for the season. Loved Season 1. Mao Mao is, like, one of my favorite characters in all of anime. And I am looking forward to my painful weekly wait to get my small dose of Momo is it endorphins? It's not endorphins. Whatever the word is for the happy feels. And I know there were some dark themes in the series, but Mao Mao is just an enjoyable character to watch, and the series in general. Absolutely love it. I can't wait to jump into the second season. Another one I was looking at, and I did watch the trailer for, is I may be guild receptionist, but also only boss to clock out on time. This one I actually have a pretty good idea of the overall plot of the story. She's like kind of a receptionist for the guild, but she's also doubling as like a fucking highly like touted adventurer. Which I don't know if it's against the rules or what. I'm sure there was something explaining it in the trailer. But she's kicking ass by night and reception and work by day type situation. Did not mark it to watch initially, and it may be one that I change my mind on as well. Ubel Blot. This is one that I have, like, I did not watch the trailer for it. I didn't read excerpts for it. I could do it now if I wanted to, but I'm not going to because I don't want to. It's been something I've been kind of interested in checking out for a couple seasons now since I'd seen it pop up initially. I also believe, Garnadella. I was looking at who was doing openings for some of these shows today, and Garnadella doing the opening for this one. Kinda looking forward to that. I feel like I don't get many openings from Garnadella these days, so it's always kind of a nice treat when we do, because it's a group that I do enjoy. So that one's on the list to be checked out. And then I would say almost said last but not least, because the last two are actually pretty great. Sakamoto Days. I have read I think the first 6 or 7 volumes of the manga. So I kind of know what to expect. I know there were some people that seemed kind of disappointed with the art or animation studio or something like that. From the trailers I've seen, it looks good. I don't know what the problem is. Sometimes I think the anime community is a little too quick to be upset over nothing without, getting their hands on it first. So I'm expecting good things from it. I know the story. I know the source material is great. And like I said, from what I've seen in the trailers, I have high expectations for it. So, also, can we give Netflix a round of applause that they finally have got their shit together, and that the stuff they are picking up, they're actually doing weekly releases on? I know there are certain shows they still do binge releases on, like Beastar, the final season, or part 1 of the final season, because it definitely was not all of the episodes. But they have, by and large, for a lot of their stuff, started to do a weekly release, and it is much appreciated because I think it helps those series out significantly. And then, last but not least, here we have My 100 Girlfriends That Really, Really Love Me, or whatever. Just a super fun show. I loved the first season of it, and assuming they continue with the way that they did things in the first season, I'm really looking forward to the introduction of the next batch of wives or girlfriends or whatever. I keep saying wives. I think I think they're just girlfriends. Regardless, I'm looking forward to the next batch. I think they did 5 in the first season, maybe 6. So I'm expecting we'll get a similar number. And I feel like the hecticness from this series is going to eventually get to. It's already hectic, but now we're going to be adding another cast of however many waifus. I mean, it's gonna be out there. It's gonna be a wild one. There are a few not listed here, but I will bring up my anime list, watch list as well. Real quick, let's pop over to the calendar thing. I'll pump this forward a few weeks so that we kind of like an overall layout of what the week to week is going to look like. Interestingly enough, even after marking Fate Strange Fake, it's still not showing up. It is. It's just for some reason it's showing up as only one episode. I think it's a full series, but it's not showing it continuing. I don't know what's going on with that. It's a weird one. Regardless, we'll pump this forward. This kind of layout. Our Fred is going to finish up here hopefully soon. Absolutely loving the Amagi sisters. So super happy that that's going to continue throughout this season. That's another nice little batch of rom-com. Some of this stuff. We will get ReZero back in February. It's going to be kind of an early birthday present getting that back, even though they did me dirty with the high and dry. We're going on break. Have fun. And, right at the peak. So it's kind of like, it's a little frustrating. But as it seems like it always happens to me, the second half of the week is very heavy. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are very light. And then I get bombarded from Thursday through Saturday. And then it tapers back down again on Sunday. I didn't cover Medalist in that list. Wait, there was a few on the winter calendar that I did not see. That is really weird. It seems like by sorting it, some of the stuff is lost. I don't know what's wrong with this website. There's a handful that I did not talk about. We're just going to run through those real quick, because we definitely did not talk about everything I wanted to talk about. Momentary Lily. I did watch the trailer for this. No idea what it's about. I see the girls have swords at some point, but I also saw in the trailer some girl with obnoxious breasticles. And that was more than enough to get me on board with this one. So that's getting checked out as a result. Man, why were there so many just missing from this list? Because there's a lot in here that I want to talk about. Salaryman is one that's interesting. I've been looking into getting the manga for this. Never did. Might jump into checking it out at some point. Not sure on that yet. We're just going to kind of rapid fire through these. The English name for this, it's Okisura is what they call it. I know there's another name for it. It's fell in love with an Okinawa girl, but I wish I knew what she's saying. Again, some of these names are fucking out there. I don't know any other way to say it. But this one seems interesting. I think this one's a rom-com as well. So I'm actually getting a decent batch of rom-com this season. Zenshu, a new one by Mappa. Opening for that one's being done by Bandmade. Really fucking excited. Honestly, this one's a rom-com. I did not know this one was a rom-com as well. I guess I kind of know where it's going. The trailer looks really good for it. I'm very excited for Zenshu. So that'll be one that I'll be excited to jump into. Medalist. This one is a sign-in, so it's like for older men, older boys, like in the kind of older range. Didn't expect to see psychological in here with the Medalist, one. I expect this to be more of a sports-based anime about figure skating, but it seems like it might be more heavily leaned into like the drama side of things. Regardless, Medalist, I think I've got like 5 volumes of it bought of the manga. It's one that I'm going to continue to keep buying. I have not read any of it. I do have it though. Seems interesting, and like I said, it covers some of my sports stuff for me. We have Hanako-kun. So interesting. This one is. It's interesting that we're getting a second season of this, considering I thought that they rebooted the series with another like set of minis, which I never watched. And this is actually like a legitimate actual sequel to the original one, which I thought they were rebooting. So I'm like super confused. I thought maybe this After School Hanako-kun was a reboot of it, so maybe I misunderstand. Regardless, it's nice to be seeing this getting a second season. I thought the art for the series was fantastic. Animation, it didn't feel like there was a ton of animation, but I felt like the art carried so hard for that show that I am excited to watch the second season of it. Is there anything else that I did not talk about that I'm watching because it just decided not to show up? I don't think so. I'm looking through here, and I think I've covered everything. So let's go back to our schedule here. Like I said, we're heavy in the middle of the week, the later middle of the week, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I've got my work cut out for me on those days, but like I said, I'm really, really feeling the anime stuff right now. I'm diving in. That's where we're at. But I get Blue Box on Thursdays. I fucking love Blue Box. So Thursdays are kick-ass, because I'm going to get Blue Box, I'm getting Dr. Stone, plenty of Elf Girls. Not sure. We'll see how that one is. But I'm loving the remake of Rurouni Kenshin. And then momentarily, like I said, that's some of the new stuff, a little bit harder to judge. We'll see. But Fridays are like a made right out of the gate, just considering I get Apothecary Diaries on Fridays. It's like this. My day's automatically fucking made. It's a Friday already, so I'm already in the good graces. And then Apothecary Diary on top of it, just being a general Friday, it's a good time. It's a good time all the way around for me. So very excited for that. I forgot to mention, fucking, what is with this? What's with shows doing this where it gets to the very end of the fucking season and then it goes on fucking break for 3 months? I got to wait till March, I think, is what it said for this shit to come back. Spring, so even later than March. It's like in April. It's crazy to me. I get there's stuff that happens. I don't understand how it happens so frequently. I think ReZero was a planned one from what it sounds like. It sounds like this was like the plan the whole time. I just didn't know about it. But there's, like I said, I've had series do this where they just say, well, we're just going on break for 4 months. It's like, okay. Thanks for the heads up. Saturdays, absolutely fucking nuts. So leveling. Orb, if you're not watching Orb, get off your asses and watch Orb, like, now. Orb is fantastic. It's one of my best animes for this year, for 2024, because it started in 2024, so I'm counting it as a 2024 anime. It's in my mind, probably one of my top 10s of the year. It's a fantastic series. Sakamoto Days on Saturdays. And then I'm fully expecting to love Medalist, just from kind of the general idea of it. So Saturdays are loaded. Sundays I get my Shangri-La fill. I get my 100 Girlfriends fill. And then the Mappa project, Zenshu. Like I said, it's a busy end of the week for me in terms of like my show log. But I expect big things, man. I'm so excited to watch some of these shows. I'm excited for these shows to start pumping out. I know tomorrow's the 1st, so I think the 12th is when the last one that I had listed is supposed to start, but now I don't even know if that's right because some of them were hidden. 11th, 5th, yeah, I think the 12th is about right. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to it. Like I said, I did want to pop into my anime list because there's a few other ones. Like I said, we have Blue Box, we'll have Amagi-san. Arfred will end probably middle-ish of the season, just considering it's doing like the same shit. It's got like they have like 3 weeks of breaks between every episode. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Orb run through the season, fantastic. I'm binging Dark Gathering right now. No idea what's up with Fate Strange Fake. This rehash of One Piece Fishman Island will end around the end of the season. And then Link Click. Lest I forget Link Click. Link Click started off with an hour-long episode the other day, and it seems like it's going to be really fucking good. Just as every other part of Link Click has. So, yeah, I think that kind of more or less covers it. I was going to talk a little bit more about some of the stuff, but I think, like I said, I honestly think I covered most of what I wanted to here. That's the stuff I'm going to watch. And this is something with what I want to do. I want to build spreadsheets and stuff like that and kind of keep track of certain things to help with the ideas for shows of the season, anime openings and endings of the season, characters, both male and female in the seasons. Like the in-show scores and stuff like that. I want to do stuff like that more in-depth. And at the end of the year, I want to be able to do a big video where I kind of break down everything throughout the year and kind of recap everything that we have gone through and enjoyed and kind of determine what my opinion on some of this stuff is. So, man, I'm, like I said, really, really excited. I've been in this new place since October, finally starting to get everything kind of hashed out. I still have some stuff here and there that I want to do. I need to buy some more furniture for a couple places and stuff like that. But I'll do a walkthrough tomorrow. I'm going to put this up here shortly tonight. I got to do a little bit of editing because there's some points where I need to cut out. But I plan to do a walkthrough of my I almost said apartment. It's a condo of my home tomorrow. And we'll get this thing underway, man. I'm looking forward to actually having another hobby that I can enjoy. I think a lot of the time I considered the editing and stuff like that and the recording is kind of a hassle. But if I think of it as a hobby and try to improve myself in the stuff that I'm doing, I think it's something that will feel like not a necessary step to upload, I guess, if that makes any sense. It's something I want to enjoy the full process of rather than just the process of actually like talking and stuff like that. Because that's the fun part. The part that is time consuming and extra is having to go through and edit everything. But regardless, yes, we're going to call that a video. It is 8:45 p.m. Pacific time here as of recording this. We're wrapping this recording up, rather. So we're not quite to New Year's yet. We're getting close on the East Coast. So if you're there, this will probably be uploaded just at the nick of New Year's for you guys. For me, I still got a few hours. So, yes, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Be safe. And have a great start to your new year. We'll see you guys in 2025.